Since I was a teenager, I always wanted to be a locomotive engineer. When I was 16, I believe, I actually got to drive a train. Maybe 17. It was during the Gulf War. CN Rail used to come up to the base and deliver jet fuel cars for the airplanes, and during the Gulf War they were delivering twice as much jet fuel as normal. And one day I actually got to be the engineer for about half an hour, and even got to drive the train over some pennies without the engineer even in the cab. Forward, stop, reverse, stop. It was quite a thrill for me to be able to drive a locomotive. And ever since then I really wanted to do it, but circumstances and locations of where I live prevented me from doing that. I shortly after that moved out east to eastern Canada, and CN was not hiring. The railroads were cutting back at that time. January 2020, I applied to CP Rail in Revelstoke and was conditionally hired, pending medical review and training. Number one, I didn't pass the medical because I am partially colorblind. And I guess number two doesn't really matter because I couldn't pass the medical. But the number two was the pandemic, and the railroads cut back again. But it didn't really matter because I couldn't pass the medical. So I continued on as a truck driver, which is kind of weird because I can actually see the lights, but for some reason on the railroad they deem that I couldn't, but I can. Maybe not in bright sunlight, maybe that's the problem, but whatever. I've always wanted to drive a train, be the engineer on a train all my life. I've had HO scale, I've had garden scale, but none of them quite satisfied my want and need to operate an actual train. So I've decided I'm about 10 years away from retiring, maybe 15, depending on circumstances. But I've decided I want to build a 1/8 scale railroad, trains that you can actually sit on and operate. I have the land. I have 17 acres. Stretches way back there, about half a mile. And I thought I kind of need a reason to build it other than to just ride around on, like an actual functioning railroad. And it's not the greatest wood. This land was logged about 25 years ago. But I could sell it for like campfires and stuff like that, and the trees that I'd need to cut down, I could pick them up. So my plans are to build about 3,000 feet of railroad, stretching back far into the woods. There's lots of things that I need to do to get that. My first acquisition was that brush cutter / weed whacker. It has a brush cutter attachment on it I could put on it, which I've already used quite extensively. It is phenomenal. I love it. It's way better than a chainsaw for the small stuff. I don't know if you could see that tree way out there. Well, that was all brush cutter. And you can't see it through the rose bush. And a lot of the trees through here so far have been brush cutter. It's going to be a lot of work and a lot of money. I'm not sure how I want to go about this. I know for the winter months, basically all I'm going to be doing is plowing snow. So I want to build a scaled Jordan spreader with operating hydraulics for the arms. Once I build my shed next year or the year after, or not shed, garage, that's going to be where the beginning of the railroad's going to be. The locomotive will be stored in there. It'll come down the driveway through here and then through here. The trucks for cars are approximately $500 a set. I'd like to build that snowplow, the Jordan spreader, and a couple of logging cars to put the wood on, and the locomotive. They range from about, I've seen some as low as 5,000 US up to about 23,000. I would like a pretty beefy one. The 23,000 US dollar ones are hydraulic motors with gas engines powering the hydraulics, basically lawnmower engines. The shell for one with the trucks and the motors, I believe, is around 10,000. That's without the hydraulic systems. There's a local hydraulics company in town. I'd like to see how much they would be able to do that for. And you can get lesser locomotives. This is a big, like, SD70 model. It looks almost like the real thing, if not the real thing. And they're pretty powerful. All 6-axle drive. You can get smaller ones. I think they get a beginner type locomotive for 10,000. But I'd also like to have remote, because I don't want to always be on it when I'm switching and stuff like that. I don't want to sit on it all the time. So you can get remotes and stuff like that, but it all costs a lot of money. The $3,000 or the 3,000 feet of track, just the rail alone, is going to be about 10,000 US. And then I gotta get the ties, which I plan to make myself. Just cutting. There's a local lumber yard that sells really heavy rough cut lumber for pretty cheap. I'd get a circular saw and make my own ties out of that, but that's probably another 5,000. I haven't priced it out actually, but I'd say around 5,000. Then I need ballast, and I need to rent an excavator to clear this all out, possibly a brush cutter. I think the excavator would do it. The track is about, with the ties, is a little over a foot wide. I would like to make it a trail as well for my family to walk down. So on definitely one side of the track, I'll have at least 4 feet wide for a mower to come down, or something to keep it trail worthy. I don't know if I'd put grass there or not, because it'd probably end up in the tracks. And the excavator could dig some ditches on either side of the track so that the water doesn't intrude onto the track, because there's a couple places back here that are filled with water. Plus you got bridges to build, and I plan to do that with the rough cut lumber. Nothing expensive, but so yeah, it's pretty ambitious. Something that I'd enjoy in my retirement, I think, and building now while I still can. It's not easy work. But this is what I have so far. And this spring the solar panels will be going right here. This is it's funny how it separates from a little bit of trees to grass, and then just weeds and brush and blackberry bushes. This is where all the trees from the lawn, when it was cleared, they were all stacked here. All the trees were buried here. Where you don't see trees and just brush is where the trees were stacked. Kind of ironic. But yeah, so it would continue on through here. And since I live in Salt Springs, I think I'll call it the Salt Springs Railroad or the Salt Springs Logging Railroad. I'm not sure yet. It would carry on through here. And as you can see, I have a mess of small trees to get rid of. And I'll show you a little bit more on the other side. And here we are on the other side. It would come through here. And first major water crossing. And continue on through there. Where you see the trees laying down on the ground, it opens up right there to some power lines. Not sure how I would go about putting track across there. It is my property, but the power company has a right of way, so they can bring their heavy machinery through there anytime when they're replacing poles or whatever. I'm not quite sure. It's a double line that goes through there, so it's quite wide. Not sure how I'd go about doing that. And then after that, there's quite a slope going up a hill. And once you get out that hill, it kind of levels off for probably the next 1,500 feet or so. It's about half a mile back from the house to the river. And there's quite a few stream. There's one big stream back there. Creek, whatever you want to call it. But I've been thinking about creating a Patreon account. See if I can't get some donations for this. Maybe donations of a certain size get mentioned in all the videos. Maybe I can get some sponsors like the locomotive manufacturer, maybe some rail sponsors, maybe put up mileposts, and if you donate a certain amount of money, you get your name or company on the milepost or on the locomotive or a bridge named after you. Not quite sure how I want to go about it. I don't really want to ask for money, but this is going to be a long process if I have to save all the money myself. It's going to take me a good 10, 12 years to save that amount of money. I have a family. I just can't put all kinds of money onto a train. I get garages to build, basements to furnish, or make a room down there for my daughter who's outgrowing her current bedroom. So yeah, I wish I could put all the money on there, but that's not possible. But hopefully, if I get enough subscribers and they can maybe throw in $1 or $2 a month, that would be fantastic. And hopefully I can do something for them and give them some entertaining content along the way. But we shall see. I know I want this for my retirement, so I have something to do. And I don't really want to drive truck that much longer. It's getting pretty brutal out there. With other truckers who just don't care anymore. It's just a job to them. It's not a lifestyle anymore. There's no respect out there. People don't care anymore. Truck drivers don't care about each other like they used to. It's all about being at the beginning. But anyway, that's a totally different story altogether. And you can see all these trees they cut down with the brush cutter as well. So yeah, anyway. More to come, I guess. That's what I got so far, about 60, 70 feet cleared out. From back there, and loop around, come across here, through there, up the hill, and then back a ways. Up the hill, I think I'm gonna have to do some grading to smooth that out, make it less of a climb. But I've watched a lot of other 1/8 scale trains on YouTube, and it really seems like something I would enjoy, especially the building of the Jordan snowplow and the train cars. I think that would be an experience and lots of fun, and showing you guys how I do it. And the locomotive, which is obviously the really expensive part, like I said, I can get one for $4,500, but it's not gonna, I don't think it'll do what I want it to do. Climb hills, bring down big heavy loads of logs. Well, not logs, but wood. And push a Jordan spreader through some of the snowstorms we get. I think that'd be so fun. Going through here with a Jordan spreader, spreading the, plowing the snow. That would be a lot of fun. And if it's too deep, maybe build some kind of rail car that I can have my snow blower for my lawnmower on the front, clearing the snow. If it's build some kind of car that I can place it on somehow, that'd be kind of neat. Bring out the old snow blower when the snow gets too deep. Anyway, I hope you will enjoy and support me by watching, liking, subscribing to the channel. And that's another thing, I'm not sure if I'm going to build another channel or just kind of somehow make it part of this channel. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to lose all the subscribers to this channel I have, but at the same time have a dedicated channel just to the new railroad might be the way to go. And of course I'll still do all the other stuff on this channel. But give me some comments, likes, subscribe, and have a good one. And we'll get back to you whether I start a Patreon page or how I'm going to do this. But yeah, have a good one.